Hey, today we're talking about those little running things that frustrate you. The little things about running that bug you. Let's get right into it. The idea for today's video came from a Twitter post from Coach Kyle Kranz. In his post, he asked exactly the same thing. What things frustrate you as a runner? If you guys don't already know Kyle Kranz, I'll put his information below. Go ahead and give him a follow. And if you need coaching advice, he consistently puts out some really good advice. All right, let me wrap up this run and we'll get home and we'll start talking about some things that might bug you about your running. So I went out to Adventure Park on today's run. That's where I got some of that good trail footage. But now I've got about 4 miles to get home. On the roads, nothing but pavement all the way home, and the rain's coming. It's already started to sprinkle a bit. I really hope I make it before the downpour starts. I don't know. Look at this. It's getting pretty dark. You can probably see some of the raindrops on the lens too. All right, maybe I'll try and pick it up a bit. That's it for today's run. 13.3 miles or 21.4 kilometers, an average pace of 7:55 per mile or 4:55 a kilometer. Listen, I didn't get caught in the rain, but I may as well have. It is 68 degrees Fahrenheit and the dew point is also 68 degrees. Humidity is 90%, so yeah, it was a soaker. It was a soaker today. Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year. All right, let's get inside. Let's get this video going. That is just what I need. As soon as I'm done with breakfast, we are gonna get into the video, I promise. All right guys, showtime. What frustrates you about your run? I had a great run this morning and I really didn't expect it because it was really tough to get out the door. Like I knew I wanted to do 13, but when I left the house, I wasn't really committed to running 13. And I had a couple of places on my run on the route that I was thinking that I could turn off, but I did it, right? So that brings me right in to the first comment. So remember, it was Kyle Kranz. He posted this question on his Twitter. The question was, what's something that frustrates you about your running? The first response was from Michelle Obermeyer. She says the first mile, always the first mile. And I am sure there are many of you out there that it frustrates you. I can't say that it frustrates me because it's something that I'm just used to, but that first mile, gosh, it's something that I always speak to new runners about. I tell them, you don't make any decisions in the first mile. That first mile is always going to be tough, right? You don't make any decisions in that first mile because if you did, you would just end your run because, let's be honest, it can feel like crap. And for me, sometimes it's more than that first mile. So if that is something that frustrates you, how do you deal with it? How do you get over that first mile? So I know that warming up will make that first mile easier. So we're talking leg swings, the lunge matrix, right? That can really, really get you going. I know there are some days, listen, I know it, I know some of you are going to be rolling your eyes at this, but there are days when I feel like I just don't have time. I have a number in my head and there is a certain amount of mileage that I want to get in. And on some days, I just don't have the time to warm up. So I go out and I run. And those are the days, my gosh, those are the days that the first mile is really frustrating because I can barely move. I did read something the other day, which I think you guys will find interesting, that somebody said on somewhere, I don't know if it was Twitter or Strava or YouTube, but he said if he doesn't stretch before he goes for a run, the first 5K are horrible. And if he doesn't stretch when he comes back from a run, the rest of the day is horrible. And I think that's a pretty good way to look at it. So we can avoid, or we can at least limit how bad we feel on that first mile if we adequately warm up beforehand, and then if we adequately cool down, stretch, just wind down from our run after. Okay, let's move on. That was a lot of talking for the first one. Okay, so the next comment from Adam Fitzgerald, he says, not having enough time to do it. What's something that frustrates you about your run? Not having enough time to do it, and when he does have enough time, sleeping in and wasting it. I can relate, okay? I can relate. I'm a lot more productive on the days when my schedule is all lined up. Like I have to go to work, I have to get up early and go to work, because on an off day, oh, listen, I'll sit down with a cup of coffee before I go for my run, and I will just fall into this black hole. I want to read the paper. I want to catch up on all the social medias. I want to see if any of you guys have commented on my videos. I could waste hours, and I usually have to, it's usually uncomfortable to pull myself away and get out for a run. But that's the best thing to do. That is the absolutely best thing to do. We have to get out and do what's important. And all this stuff, this will still be here when we get back. But when we get back, it's not going to be as important because we're going to be warmed up. We're going to be primed to go out and, continue with the rest of our day. So, Adam, not having enough time to do it. Well, I would say that, we make our own time. We make time for what's important. And sometimes when we just wake up, it's really difficult to put running as a priority. But I'm telling you, if you make that a priority and you just get out and you knock that out, it's going to pay dividends. The dividends will keep paying throughout the day and you will feel better. You will feel better, I promise. So just make running a priority. And sleeping in, listen, we need to get our rest, right? We're athletes. We're athletes, and we're always told that that is where the gains are made, in bed. In bed. So we run, break everything down, and when we sleep, we build it all back up stronger than ever. So sleep is important. If you want to sleep in, you have my permission. Go right ahead. Oh, Frank Field. Frank Field says that it frustrates him that he's slowing with age, and it makes him nuts. Listen, I can understand. I'm sure many of you out there, if you're getting older, and I'd wager that that's most of you, that if you're getting older, you are noticing your times coming down. Now listen, you may be at a point where you're still on that upswing, right? They say that no matter when you start running, you have about 10 years of improvement. 10 years. All right, my 10 years has come and gone. So I do notice my times are coming down. There was a time when I used to run every marathon under 3, and I was consistently running in the low 250s, and life was good. Now it's a little different. Now I have changed my whole approach to running. I run a lot slower for most of my mileage. I know 10 years ago I used to run all my mileage pretty fast. But I'm enjoying running a lot more now with my 80-90% easy miles, and then just focusing on a few key workouts. Now, I'll be honest with you, I don't think I'm going to be running in the low 250s again, but I will break 3 again, right? I have broken 3 as a Masters runner. That was about a year and a half ago, and I will be I plan to be breaking 3 in the next year or this year, whenever you're watching it, whenever I publish this video. 2020, I plan to break 3 again in 2020. Jessie says, now this is a good one. Jessie is frustrated that she still has to hold down a full-time job. Okay, and I can see where that would be frustrating because it really seems that sometimes work gets in the way of everything fun, right? Like, I want to go for a run, but I have to do it super early so I can get to work. But listen, working is life. And there have been plenty of studies that show working people live longer, right? So you've heard all these anecdotal stories that people retire and when they don't have that meaning in their life, they just keel over and die, right? So people that work, people that do something. Now, it might not be your career, it might not be what you're doing now, but working is important. And while I totally understand with Jessie saying that the fact that she has to hold down a full-time job, yeah, listen, that's frustrating. I would like to be a professional athlete. You know, I really would. You wake up, you work out, you take a nap, you get up, have another workout, eat lots, and you get to do all these races. I'm sure there are downsides to being a professional athlete too. In fact, listen, I know there are downsides to being a professional athlete, but try and accept what you have. And there are plenty of people out there that don't have jobs. So if having a full-time job frustrates you and you're running, listen, accept that. Accept that frustration and do your work and then go for your run after. Listen, we're very lucky to have jobs and we're very lucky that we can also do this sport. So I think we kind of have to make these two things work together, right? It's a very rare person that is just wealthy and they can sit around and then go for a run all day. And I would question their happiness. I think there's something to working that really adds something to life. I'd love to hear what you think though, so write in the comments below. Is working valuable, right? We know running is valuable. Is working valuable though? Okay, let me know in the comments below. Hey guys, I was just editing this video and it looks like, listen, it's getting a bit long. I think I'm at like 12 and a half minutes now and I don't want to bore you guys. So listen, if you want to know other frustrations that some runners have, then I can make another video and follow up because listen, I've got enough footage. I put together enough stuff for like, I don't know, 25 minutes of footage and I realize that is just too long right now. So this is what I want you to do. Write in the comments below what frustrates you as a runner and let's get that discussion started. Guys, if you got value from this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, consider subscribing and as always, be kind, be happy and run well. I'll see you next time.